So we're going to look at Daniel chapter 2 and chapter 3, and I'm going to highlight sections. As I said before, that you're only going to be getting that overview because it's impossible in the limited amount of time for us to do an in-depth study. So let me go ahead and start highlighting some of those scriptures. So in chapter 2, I'm going to read chapter 2, verse 1. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him. So in other words, he was troubled by these dreams, and he couldn't sleep. Now, those of you that are in Kenya, I'm guessing that you probably don't pronounce that king's name that way. I'm guessing you say Nebuchadnezzar. Just guessing. Okay, so his sleep was greatly troubled. All right, he called astrologers, sorcerers, everybody that he could think of, that could help him with his dreams. Okay, and to tell them their meaning. And then verse 8, the king answered and said, I know of certain that ye would gain the time, because ye see the thing is gone from me. Okay, so he's saying that I want you to tell me my dream and tell me its meaning. All right? But it will not make known unto me the dream. One decree for you, for ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that ye can show me the interpretation of it. So he was challenging whether or not these people really told him the truth. Okay? Now, the Chaldeans answered before the king and said, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore, no king, lord, nor ruler as such thing at any magician or astrologer or Chaldean. They can't, he's saying, we can't do that. You can't ask us to do the impossible. Okay? Then up to verse 12. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. Okay, that would include Daniel, Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael. All the wise people. Okay? So what happens? Well, let's look. Verse 14. Then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. He answered and said to the king's captain, why the decree so hasty from the king? Then he was told, told what happened to Daniel, so he would know why. Okay, but listen what happened. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. So Daniel knew that God could do anything. So he's like, I'll go in and tell him what it is. Let me talk to the king. And so he's like, I will tell you your dream and the interpretation if you'll give me a little bit of time. Okay, so that's bottom line what he was saying. Okay? Then Daniel went to his house and made the thing known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions. So he told his friends, hey, listen, I just told the king that God would interpret his dream. I would interpret his dream. So I need you to be in one in the spirit with me. Okay? That they would desire mercies of God of heaven concerning this secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise of Babylon. So, what does he do? He prays. And guess what? God reveals the secret. In verse 19, it says, then was a secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. And I want to pause right there. For wisdom and might are his. Now, the New Testament tells us that all the wisdom and knowledge in his treasury are ours because we are with him. So much greater than this can take place in your life if you simply access it. Okay? And he changed the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and the secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. I thank thee and praise thee, O God, O thou God of my fathers, who hath given me wisdom and might, and hath made known unto me now what we desired of thee. For thou hast made known unto us the king's matter. So what happens? Well, Daniel goes in. Verse 26, let's jump over there. The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and interpretation thereof? Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, the soothsayers show unto the king. So this sounds like he's telling the king, there ain't no way I can tell it to you, but wait, there's more. But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets. Now, did you see that right there? This is Daniel not taking credit for being able to tell him what that dream was and what it meant, but giving credit to God. This is where our heart should be. It's not about us. It's about doing the work of the Lord. But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. And then he proceeded to tell him what his dream was and what it meant. Now, let's jump over to 46. Then the king Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshipped Daniel, and commanded that he should offer an oblation and sweet odor unto him. The king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth that your God, a God of gods, and a Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, see if thou couldst reveal this secret. Then the king made Daniel a great man, and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, and chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. Then Daniel requested of the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gate of the king. So, because these four sought God, so you got Daniel, who the dream was revealed to, and then you've got Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael praying to God for the revealing of this message. And they were all honored. Daniel was honored, and Daniel put into positions of rule, of high position, those that he knew were like-minded. Okay? Let's move on to chapter 3. Verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 80, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Verse 4. Then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, At what time ye hear the sound of the hornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. Oh boy, that is not good. So, did Hananiah, Azariah, Mishael obey? Did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego obey? No, they did not, because they were not going to defy God. Verse 14, Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, True, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? So he's like angry. Don't you do what I tell you to do? Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, the dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. But if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? So he's like, I'm going to kill you, and your God ain't going to do nothing about it. Well, let's just see what happens if you don't already know. So in verse 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O King Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter, meaning that they aren't just flippantly saying words. They're serious about what they have to say. If it be our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver out of thine hands, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. So they're saying, whether the Lord save us or whether he doesn't, we're not going to worship your God. Now here it says can, and it's wrongly written because it's not saying, it's not questioning God's ability to save them. It's saying whether he chooses to or not. Okay? Then let's jump over to verse 23. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astounded, and rose up in haste, and spake and said unto the counselors, Did we not cast three men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. So, yes, we did three. Only three people went in there. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the fourth is like the Son of God. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. And the princes and governors and captains and the king's counselors began gathering together, saw these men, upon whose body the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their head singed, neither their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. They were completely sheltered from it. Not even the smell of a burning fire was on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who hath set his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies, and that they might not serve nor worship any God except their own. Therefore, I make a decree that every person, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. So because they did what was right in God's eyes, not only were they saved, not only did no harm come to them, not only did they not smell of any fire, but they were honored. They were given a higher position, and there was a decree made to honor the one true God. Are you believing in God each and every day? Are you holding fast to the truth of what he says? Or are you using your own vain imaginations to do things the way you want to do instead of the way that God would have you to do? Okay, so I've done these 2 chapters. I'm going to take a break, and then I'll do a couple